Two Jews Making Food. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Amy. And we're back in Rebecca's kitchen for this one.
I know, old time sake.
Old school. Ugly is the new beautiful
when it comes to winter vegetables. The recipe that we have today is made with a little known squash. I did not know that this was a squash that could be eaten, but my farmer at the farm stand told me that I should definitely give it a go.
What's it called?
Kabocha.
Kabocha squash.
Well, I mean, that's how I say it. It's actually a Japanese pumpkin.
Not kombucha like
it is not kombucha. It is not
Kabocha squash.
It just sounds similar.
And I'm going to be making a weird green kind of mimosa thing, but with kale. So it's bound to be disgusting.
I cannot wait to taste it.
And I can't wait to try it. So we are
off to the farm stand to grab our goods.
So let's go check that out.
Farm stand now.
Farming. They farming here. Farming. There's a lot of gourds here. This is an apple gourd. Is that what it says? An
Apple gourd.
Well, it looks like a watermelon gourd, but it's an apple gourd. But then over here we have a variety of gourds, or squashes rather.
So here we are. We are at Andrew's farm stand. We are with Rose. Rose, you
Hi,
run
Rose.
this whole thing.
Yep, the retail part, that's my mom over there. And our CSA.
CSA is amazing. They have the best.
For those city folk, with our huge city following, what is a
It's
CSA?
community support and agriculture, so you pay up front for our 10-week share. You get a little bit discount on your flowers and vegetables, and you come every week, and you kind of are part of our farm for the summer, because you're eating whatever we're eating, which is whatever is in season.
So what if people can't find it?
A very popular squash right now, it might not have the same flavor as kabocha, but is the honey nut. It's kind of like the more delicious.
Oh, that's the honey nut. It's so tiny.
Yeah, little sister to butternut. It's got a lot more flavor, a little bit sweeter, tinier in size.
It's tinier.
Like mini food.
It's easier
It's
to
mini
handle
food.
too. Sometimes when you're cutting a butternut, your knife gets halfway through and
then you
it
cut,
doesn't get all. Yeah,
and
exactly.
you cut your hand
These
off.
ones-
Rebecca happens to have a kabocha at home,
do.
so we are going to be able to use that for the recipe. However, we did want to provide alternatives.
But I always love when we have fill-ins, because sometimes
Yes.
you can't find what you want at the farm stand.
So, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think these are pumpkins. There's definitely a couple of gourds up in here too, but this would be like, I feel like a pumpkin like this would be perfect for filling.
We were having a discussion about whether you can eat gourds or gourds are ornamental only. Does anyone know if that's true? Good
What
one.
I'd like to talk about for a moment. Pumpkin spice. I have a very big problem with this.
Uh-oh.
I need to know, like, I detest this whole pumpkin spice season. And I'm gonna take my glasses off because I'm serious here, people. No. You're putting a pumpkin spice whipped cream on a pumpkin spice coffee. That's disgusting. Like, just regular whipped cream and no pumpkin spice lattes either.
This is
Oh,
Cinderella
we just learned this is a Cinderella pumpkin. Well, that's perfect.
They need that sign.
We saw this pumpkin. We thought this is the perfect pumpkin.
But it has a spider on it.
It does? Ooh, where?
I
Discovered that this one is the perfect pumpkin without the spider that we'll use to put our soup in.
Yes, this is going to be our...
This is the soup tureen. The soup tureen. So I am getting some items for the cocktail, which could be great or could be totally disgusting, and that's what I love about it. I need some kale. This is for a cocktail. Kale, celery, ginger, and lemon.
Sounds like a health drink.
Right? But it does have Prosecco in it, so getting really beautiful bread and ciabatta to go with our soup too. Oh, look at that. So, I gotta take a picture of that now. We're back!
We are back from the farm
was
stand.
exhilarating.
That was epic.
Yeah.
That was...
It's the most beautiful day.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is so freezing cold with the top down. No, it was very warm.
It was like hot, like sweating hot.
Let's be honest. Today is October 1st when we're filming this.
Yes.
And it's been really crummy out, but now the weather was like beautiful. It was in the 70s today.
And
But
we saw some people who were dressed for the season.
yes, there was a witch,
Yes.
a white witch,
A white witch at the farm
like
stand.
and dressed in white with a white hat.
And people were wearing their sweaters. They thought it was
Yeah.
sweater weather.
But we were in our tank tops.
We were tank tops. Although I did say I do have a sweater.
Yours
It's
is a sweater
tank top.
tank top. Mine is
Mixing all the seasons.
I just go.
But look what we found.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of delicious things.
So, kabocha squash.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
That's the kabocha.
It is. This is. See a little messy mess on the
That's
bottom.
the
This is
kabocha.
the Cinderella pumpkin.
This is a Cinderella pumpkin we learned.
It is. That's what they call it at the farm stand. I'm going to try to use this as the tureen.
The tureen for the
For
soup.
the soup. We're going to give it a go.
There was
and
a spider on it, and we're hoping it's gone.
I just know it's on me.
Yeah.
And then acorn squash for Owen, and then we found these little, what are these?
These were the honey nut
squash.
Which is it's sweeter than butternut. We're not using these things. We just wanted to show them because
Like
they're really
little
cute
mini-
and apparently like way better than a butternut. So if you're making a butternut squash soup, try the honey nut
these
squash.
out.
You just need more of them because they're
Who
itty
doesn't love
bitty.
mini food? They're so cute. Okay,
They're
anyway.
adorable.
So let's get going.
Get rid of those. I've got my kale. I chose the recipe for my green kale mimosa, which is what it is. It just says kale. It didn't say Tuscan kale or whatever. But I like the look of the Tuscan kale, so that's what I got.
Amy, I am terrified of this.
I'm a little scared too.
drink.
And then they have like a massive thing of celery. So I got this big old celery, which I thought I could use some of this as a garnish. And yeah, I've got what I need. You want to get started?
Actually, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the microwave.
Just whole like that?
Whole like this. 3 or 4 minutes just to make the skin a little less tough to cut through.
That's not going to explode?
No, and that way I don't have to like fight with it in a
Okay.
epic opening.
All right. I'll brace myself. So I'm going to need a cup of kale and a cup of water, which I already put in here because I have to muddle it. So I've already got a cup of water in here.
Show them our muddler, Amy.
I know. Well, Rebecca didn't have a muddler, but she's so smart. She's like, oh, I have this. I'm like, oh, that's a muddler. She said, no, it's an ice cream scoop.
It's ice cream scoop.
But it's a perfect muddler, so I'm going to use that. You can also, like blend it, but not too loosely because you need to strain it. Then I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of celery and a tablespoon of freshly grated ginger, and some lemon juice, and then kind of smush it all together, and then it gets mixed with sparkling wine or prosecco or champagne, something like that. So I'm going to start.
Amy, there's so much about
Cutting
this
up
recipe.
my kale.
I might cry while doing this.
Right? Why? Oh, because
Because
it's
it's like an
onions.
onion.
Not because you're sad about it.
Because I'm terrified of your scary cocktail.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Feel
mean,
like you're
one cup of
forcing me
kale
into
is
like
like
a juice cleanse, but like also with champagne.
I think I'm going to achieve a cup of kale pretty quickly.
Do it.
So here.
Amy, I've missed being in our kitchen.
I know.
This is actually super.
It also doesn't say if it's like packed, but I think that's enough. Like, it's just probably more than
I
enough.
think that's plenty.
This serves 2, by the way. Get in there. Get in there.
I'm just prepping an onion.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm putting the onion in there. This is my epic soup.
Epic soup.
Epic soup.
Hopefully you don't have an epic soup fail.
So what I like about this soup is that it's flavors that I don't typically use at home regularly. Like I don't know how often you. Does it?
Yes.
Oh, it does smell.
I don't know if you've ever had like fresh
Celery?
Celery, but like it smells really good.
It's sweet, although. No, I don't know.
It's good.
Can't watch someone eat.
It's really
and not
good.
enjoy them.
All right, put my celery in there.
I mean, it tastes like celery. I don't
It
know.
tastes like celery, but it's good. Squish. What else you
But
got
I like
going
celery.
on?
I don't know. Oh, curry. So I'm making with the soup red curry. Now I did not go to the trouble of making my own curry. I just went to the store and bought it. It's so easy. It's literally exactly the same to me.
Curry?
Well, the red curry that I got. It's like very clean.
Oh, it's just like that
Just
red curry
what's-
paste or
yeah.
something? Or, okay.
It's just the ingredients that you would expect to find.
All right. Oh, am I in your way? Oh, no.
No, I just was looking at what you were doing.
Oh, I'm cutting up the ginger so that I can grate a tablespoon of ginger, which I think will end up being kind of an overpowering flavor because it usually is. I feel like we'll find out what happens when I do this. But
I'm
funky bit right there. I'll cut that out. I'm gonna start grating my ginger. Wait, so how does that pumpkin or that? How is that doing now that you microwaved it?
It's opening. Like you see what I mean? Like it's like a little bit of a. It's a little
Softer?
hot. Well, it just means it softens the skin, so I don't feel like I'm gonna, cut my hand off.
Is this in the recipe or this is just a trick that
No,
you
this
got?
is just something I decided to do.
You just decided I'm going to throw a squash in the microwave.
Yeah.
You did not read this somewhere.
I'm
Ever.
sure I didn't just go, oh, today I woke up and I found it and it's
No,
I
it's
mean,
just
I read
very
it
brave.
somewhere.
I mean, I wouldn't just think I'm gonna throw a squash in the in the microwave, I would think it would explode. Like you didn't have to poke any holes in it.
If I was going to cook it for 10 minutes, I would have poked holes, which I have done. When I am trying to make dinner quickly, like
You don't care if it explodes.
forgotten to do some element of dinner. Like acorn squash. I will poke several holes in acorn squash, put it in the microwave for about 10 minutes. And then when it's done, I slice it open and I throw it in the oven with, I don't know if I was going to make it with like maple syrup or something. Because that's Owen's favorite currently. And then within like 10 minutes, it's done. Oh. So it's like a nice fast way to speed up the forgotten dinner.
My grater is yielding nothing.
What?
It's just not going. It's going to take so long. I'm just going to chop my ginger into kind of small pieces.
Sorry, I'm going to grab that.
Woo!
As all of this falls onto the
ground. I'm just going to chop it.
Now, when I've done this before, I put it in there for a little bit longer and it was hot when I opened it, so this needed to cool down before I could scoop it out, but I think I put it in for a little less than 3 minutes, but just about 3 minutes, and it was perfect.
This time was 3 minutes?
Yeah.
I swear I would think it would explode. So again, this was supposed to be grated ginger, but it wasn't grating, so you know what, I'll just chop it, whatever. Lemon juice. So I need a tablespoon, I believe, yes, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice.
Amy, this drink is harder to make than soup.
I know, I'm exhausted.
Loosen the
juices. So that was a nice farm stand. They were very nice there.
Well, she was super helpful because they did not have the Kabocha squash.
They didn't.
They didn't. I guess because of the weather.
Yeah, she said they may not have it at all this season. But there's alternatives. You could use really any other squash, right?
Yes, butternut,
except spaghetti.
No, spaghetti would be weird. Please don't spaghetti. I mean, you can. Just send me a photo when you do it.
That was
now we're just putting these in here.
Oh, so you just like that?
Yeah.
You don't have to cut it into cubes or anything. That's so easy.
That's why I'm making this.
You make things so unfussy.
My favorite. So now I'm going to put a little bit. You know what I did do, Amy? Because you were using the fresh ginger.
Yeah. Oh.
I am just.
I do have more. If you want some?
No, I'm using frozen ginger.
Oh, the frozen is fine.
And I go 1, and then I go 2, and that's plenty.
That's actually easier because, as you saw, I was trying to grate this ginger and it was not happening.
Amy, you know I'm all about the ease of things.
Ease, I know.
So,
all right.
I'm sorry, I need one more spoon.
Okay. I'm gonna muddle.
Your drink will be done next year. I can't wait. It's gonna be like New Year's health.
Woo!
Put that anywhere, Amy.
Okay, I will.
So about 1 tablespoon in each.
That's the
maple syrup.
Maple syrup, yeah. This is gonna be weird. I can tell already. This hurts. I'm tired already. It's like a workout. So you've got the maple syrup and then some chicken stock.
So you put about 2 cups in.
Okay.
And you cover it.
And then you throw it in the oven. How hot? How long?
350 for 90 minutes.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like, you're gonna get your whole life back.
Well, you put it in there. I'm gonna keep muddling, and then we'll check back on this in a second. But you know what I think we should do? I think now's the time for the Yiddish lesson of the day. So we're gonna go to the Yiddish lesson. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Amy. Good to see you as always.
I'm cooking.
Good.
So tell me, what do you got for me today? What's the Yiddish word of the day?
The Yiddish word for the day is kvel. And kvel, I do it all the time when I talk about you. I kvel about my daughter, how proud I am of her, yada, yada, yada. Or my grandchildren, I kvel too.
Well, what does it mean?
But it means,
I know.
you know, when you just are so complimentary toward your children or any, you know, usually it's you're related to them, of course. Why would I kvel about anyone else anyway? I don't know.
Well, what's the kvelling? What is like?
It's just like, you know, just saying wonderful things, boasting, bragging, which may not be the best thing. And I'm always worried if I say too many good things, then you know what? I got to say that poo-poo kind of her, because I don't want the devil side to look
but it's also kind of like a form of pride too. Like when somebody you love is doing something great, you're like, oh, I'm kvelling. Like,
yeah, I think it's only within a family.
I'm kvelling. Maybe, but like you also kvel, and you're kvelling when something nice has happened with somebody you love, or they look really.
Right.
Then when they get married, you're so emotional, like, oh, yeah, I'm kvelling. Look at my beautiful daughter in her wedding dress. I'm kvelling.
Yes, kvelling is swell.
Yeah,
to kvel is swell.
Yeah. So I remember they used kvelling in Clueless Alicia Silverstone used it. But that was
But it's
good.
interesting. I guess you wouldn't be quelling unless it was about someone in your family.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I don't quell over
it's from
a
pride.
friend. Yeah.
Unless you
exactly.
have something to do with something that makes you feel proud for them. Like when I would listen to Kate sing on stage, I would quell because it was so beautiful, and I was so happy for her that I would, I'm quelling because your voice is so beautiful and you're performing on stage and I love it. So it's such a great word, quell. I can't believe we haven't used it yet. Now we finally have.
And it's not negative, even though I'm
I know
afraid to
dads
tell
are always
Vilma.
negative. Punching and slapping and whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dad's a putz. Not dad's not a putz, but that's a word. Anyway,
Well, sometimes.
I'm quelling looking at your sweet face because I love you so much. You make me cry. I love you.
I give out. Okay.
Shut up already with this. All right, I love you, Mama.
I love you. I love you more. Mom.
All right, I'll allow it. Goodbye. Mwah.
The Yiddish lesson.
It's my favorite.
All right, Amy,
okay.
you have spent like 4,000 calories making this.
My arm is I've been muddling for days.
I want to say I'm excited to try this for how hard you work.
But it smells really good. It does. This is just like a thing full of weird green stuff. So
That's
yes,
what it smells like.
So so once you've muddled the bleep out of it, then you take a strainer and you pour half of the liquid into each glass. I don't know if I'm gonna do a half. We'll see. But look, it's nice and green.
Spooky.
It's very pretty.
It's like potion.
Yeah.
Like an elixir.
Is that
That's. Oh, I think that's good.
Okay. Boop, 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 boop. So
I have to say that's a really beautiful color.
it's a beautiful color. I'm loving
They would
it.
charge you $400 in the city for this.
They would.
Go, Amy, go. Remember the one time we opened it and there was no pop?
Oh yeah, it was
That
like
was so sad. I opened it and it was like.
yeah, it was. I had it for. It was the Dom Perignon. And I had it for a long time.
So we were like so pumped, but
We're so
it was still delicious. Don't worry.
It was. Okay. Then you top it off with champagne, sparkling wine, prosecco. You can do something a little bit sweeter if you want to add a little extra sweetness to this, which we'll find out after we taste it because
I'll let you know.
I didn't try this ahead of time. As you know, I don't do that. I like to be surprised. And
Amy's like, I found this weird recipe.
Yeah.
And
I like to be surprised, delighted, horrified.
I have a top left.
All right, so let me go
I'm
garnish.
sorry. I'm like so anxious to get to this potion.
Our celery had such lovely leaves that I thought, oh, what a lovely garnish that would make.
I'll just rub it all over the counter.
I'm gonna rub it all over your
Right in my
counter.
hand. Yeah. Mhm. Perfect.
Rub it
I'll
on
pour
you.
Okay. There you go.
Don't eat it. Okay. L'chaim.
L'chaim, bottoms up.
Healthy drinking. I mean, it kind of just tastes like sparkling wine with like a little herbaceousness.
I don't even. I'm not sure.
I don't
how to
hate
describe-
it.
No, I don't hate it.
I get the citrus.
All I can smell is celery.
Yeah.
Like,
I
mean, which I like.
I feel healthier though. I do.
I'm basically
I'm-
on a cleanse.
This is a spa in a
Cleanse.
glass.
Now this is a cleanse I can get behind. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
The Jewish cleanse.
All right, well, I mean, try it. Like, we're gonna put it in the article in East Magazine no matter what. So make sure you check that
let's
out.
talk about how we even came up with
yes.
what we are even doing here. So they
Yes,
came to us
East Magazine asked us.
and they said, we have a challenge for you.
Yes,
We said, we're done.
we love a challenge. How much does it pay? No, we didn't say that.
We said we love a challenge.
What's
And then-
maybe it does. Who knows?
Um,
No, it
and then they said, what was it? Ugly?
Oh, with what can you do with like ugly winter vegetables made delicious?
But then we went to the farm stand and there are some really interesting vegetables out there.
Yes.
We saw all of them.
Yes.
Well, a number
So
of them.
you found this recipe with this kabocha squash.
Kabocha squash, yes.
And I thought we always do a cocktail, so I was like, all right, I'll find something that
I'll find the
incorporates,
grossest cocktail I
you know,
can.
vegetables. And there aren't a lot of cocktails that incorporate vegetables, but I found one with kale.
I keep drinking it thinking
I honestly
it
kind of
needs
like it.
like a little something else and I can't figure out what it is.
Maybe a little more sweetness or something. But I actually kind of like it. Anyway, so that's how we came to do this, because why would you do that?
I like
But-
a lot of things, but that
Yeah. I love it. Make it at home.
it's on the cusp of being good.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Oh, they did say you could also muddle some apple into it, which I forgot. And that might have added a nice little crisp sweetness to it. So maybe I'll throw a little in there.
I am all
Good
kinds
God, woman.
Yeah, no, this is
anyway, I'm gonna throw a little apple in it. I'm gonna try it again. But we're gonna take it away for a moment while Rebecca cuts this pumpkin so that there's no blood on camera. And we'll be right back.
Kind of facing away from
after these messages. I think you. Oh my God! I think you got it. Oh. She did it! Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
That is intense.
My kids are gonna love these.
Everything we're doing today is like a don't try this at home. So so you got some stuff cooking in the oven.
Now we wait.
I made this. I actually tweaked this cocktail and I added some chopped up apple and I muddled it a little more. And we added the apple in with the liquid, and it's much better.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend doing the apple, which I'll put in the recipe.
Now this is refreshing, and
it is. It adds a nice sweetness that it needs, but keeps it tart like it already was.
It was balanced.
Yes, it's much better. I can definitely drink this now. We're gonna play a game while we're waiting for this 90 minutes of roasting, right?
Let's
play a game.
It's hard to make dinner.
Come on. Oh, who's that? It's Jackie.
Hi. And Matt. Matt's gonna play with us as well.
Oh, hello.
So we have finished our game of blank space,
Yeah.
and I won.
And I came in second.
Much to our guests' chagrin,
yeah.
we won. That's just
how we
it
roll.
goes.
Yeah. And in the meantime, your
yes, the squash is done.
squash is roasted.
So at about 90 minutes is what it takes, and then I took it out just to cool, just so that way we'll be able to handle it. And I'll move this over here. So we've got our pot with 2 cups of chicken broth.
Already in.
2 teaspoons of salt to go in. Let's get this going. Let's get it hot. There we go. And then did I lose my spoon?
I got you do with a
Of like red
curry
paste.
Red. Ooh, I can smell it.
It gets real fast in here.
Is it on high heat, on medium heat?
I mean, I currently have it on high heat. I'll probably turn it down. Get all the little bits out. Just pour a little bit of water, chicken broth in there.
Yeah, stretch the sauce, as the Italians say.
Zhuzh it around. Okay, so now for this, you just take out the onions and you put it into the sauce directly in. So all roasted and good. Now we're just gonna scoop out the insides of this goodness.
Ooh.
Okay, so after we are done scooping it out, everything's in there, you actually take the broth that was in there and you add it to.
I was going to ask that question if you actually use that liquid, and I assumed so.
Yes.
So I'm so happy to see you have it.
Gotta use it. Oh. You're gonna basically bring this up to a boil, a gentle boil.
Before blending it.
Before we zhuzh, yeah. And then it's 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk. So good. And I have used low fat, reduced fat. You can use full, you can use reduced, whatever you like.
It's better if you don't.
This has come up to a boil. Everything is nice and melded together. And I just go ahead and put it in. Just
Hit it.
hit it.
It's getting soupy.
So now the soup actually starts out pretty thin, but it will thicken just a bit over time once it like cools down.
Do you cook it you don't bring it up to a boil again once it's blended?
I mean, everything's cooked, so
Okay.
it's good to go. So that's it. That's the soup. Should we transfer it to our creative bowl?
I think we should.
Okay, so we took this beautiful Cinderella pumpkin that we got at the farm stand, and we thought it would be fun to turn it into a soup terrine, which
a pumpkin terrine.
pumpkin terrine. So what we did is we
So you-
lined the bottom with a little bit of parchment and a little bit of
Aluminum foil.
to make like a bowl. You can also just throw a small bowl inside if you don't feel like
That's really
it
so
as
she
well.
can reuse the pumpkin for carving for Halloween, because it's a really nice pumpkin and you don't want to waste it.
That'd be a fun
Here she
element.
comes. Is there anything I can do for you?
Just don't get burned.
Don't get burned. Ooh. Or like when you go to serve, you can have this kind of like on an angle like that. And then when you serve, you go, pew! Take it off, and then you serve it.
How fun
But
is
you've
that?
already put some in a bowl for us
I did.
to try.
Actually, there
You said
you
you
go.
put a little bit of lime
A
in the
little bit
soup.
of lime on the top.
Also a little bit tipsy from my healthy cocktail.
Ooh. And then a little bit.
Oh, a little bit of
drizzle.
Ooh, the coconut milk. That's pretty. I'm excited.
So hot.
It's all right.
Oh, you know what? I want
What?
I want finishing salt.
Oh, finishing salt. Yeah.
So now
Are you
I
gonna use
have
the
been
smoke
super,
finishing?
super. No, I'm using a
Oh.
different one. This is actually a black lava sea salt,
Has so many salts.
which I am obsessed with.
All right, I'm gonna try this.
Look how pretty that is.
It's very pretty. I'm trying it. Mmm,
Oh my god, I'm obsessed with this soup.
it's really good.
I love this soup.
I'm gonna try a little piece of. Ooh, it's good with. Ooh, I got a little bit of lime in there. Here. Ooh, this bread is so.
You can also
Soft
put
and
on
fresh.
cilantro if you like cilantro. I do not, so I leave it
Here.
out. Ooh, okay. Oh, all right.
Dip it.
Dip it good.
Dip it good. Oops. Mmm. Oh yeah.
Right?
Really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like on like a snowy day.
Yeah. Definitely warm for today, but
It's a little hot in this
I'm
soup. and
schwitzing.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
it's really
Yep.
ugly winter vegetables made
Sorry.
beautiful. Thank you for joining Two Jews Making Food. We'll see you next time.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Amy, and we'll see you next time
For more schmaltz and shtick.
Bye.